So if you've just read through the title, this is one to watch if you're keen on getting something changed about your nutrition, if you really want to make a big difference, a shift. And it doesn't matter if you've been with us for a week or even 5 years. So the conversation started with a client, who I have so much respect for. She's an incredible woman. She trains super hard, does lots of the right things, but is at a point of struggle. And we get that, and we all get it. And we need to just understand that it's not always easy. It's not always regular, steady decline when it comes to weight loss. Even from week to week, we have spikes. If you're somebody who has a relationship with the scales, it can be a really tough ride because we can often get put off by seeing a pound go up, a pound go down. So here's a couple of take-home points. We have a process that we take people through in the 30 days. We know that this works for a high majority of people, but doesn't work for everybody. Like any diet or nutrition approach, we all have different ways of dealing with nutrition. Some of us need literally a step-by-step what I should be doing. The reason we don't give you a cookie cutter program in terms of what to eat, when to eat it, is because you need to understand nutrition. If you never understand or never give it time to understand nutrition, then you're going to struggle at some point. Understanding and knowing what's right and what's maybe a little bit tougher when it comes to your goals is a really key thing to do. But it doesn't mean that you don't understand nutrition. We just have times of struggle. We need sometimes that bit of a stern talking. So here's a couple of stern things. If you're not willing to make a plan, then you're not really going to get a result. Too many people skip over the simple stuff of planning out their weeks, not getting prepared for the week ahead. And when we do that, we fall behind and we've only got ourselves to blame. If you're not going to, start to prep and get organized with the foods that you've got in your household, the foods that you can control, then you're going to struggle anyway. Because when we get to the point where we're out of control as such, eating out, socializing, doing whatever, then it's going to become much tougher. If you're somebody who consumes alcohol, which isn't a problem, we do it, you've got to understand the cost of that. And when I talk about the cost of it, it's not only the alcohol itself, which your body is going to try and utilize first of all of its first energy source. So say you consume 600 plus calories, your body needs to burn that off before it's even going to attack the extra additional fats and carbohydrates that may be stored by our body, which you may have also consumed whilst drinking. So you've done that, you've gone for your snacks, your crisps and all that. So the additional calories you consume are going to be stored because you're going to be using up that alcohol. Now, once again, it's about understanding how to sort of play it out for you. The discussion we had was that she didn't consume breakfast, didn't want breakfast, but actually as a habit of being in a different place, being away, being at home more, that those calories from breakfast were creeping in. Now, they may have been a good breakfast, but it was still 300 or 400 calories that she wasn't consuming on a regular basis usually. This then, as she commented, opened the floodgates for the rest of the food coming in. And that can happen. If we're at home and we're not as busy, then we've got food accessible, then we're going to go and get that. So here's a couple of ways of getting around that. You've got to be, consuming enough water. We know that, but that may or may not do the trick. B, keep yourself busy when you can. So maybe get up and go for a walk. Go and do some exercise. C, plan your day. If you're somebody who doesn't like breakfast, then let's knock it on the head. Let's actually give ourselves a clear time that we're allowed to start eating. Maybe that's a game you want to play with yourself. So we've set a time at 12:30. It's the first time she's allowed to consume food. Let's give it a try. If it works, fantastic. That could be a habit from now on. Water, getting exercise in every morning has been a real bonus. She noticed when she stopped doing exercise in the morning, it almost gave her more free time to look to consume food. Whether she's at the unit or whether she may be working out at home, doing a HIIT workout, one of her HIIT workouts online, every day at 9:30 or 9 o'clock, whatever works along her working schedule or your working schedule, make sure you book that in, because that way it also prevented her from wanting to come home and eat straight away. We gave it that buffer. We then had the right food planned to consume. So when we got back in, having the right foods ready stopped us from then going and grabbing a sandwich because it was the easiest thing. And this is what happens when we're not planned or prepared. We go for the easy thing, and it's human nature. We just go there and we grab it. So then we realized there's this little time in between lunch and dinner where the first option was to get home, finish work, grab a drink, because it's filling that time. And then with that drink, have a couple of snacks. And then when we did that, it comes to eating the meal, the proper food, shall we say, that had good nutrient density, because there's good intentions in the morning in the plan, didn't really feel like eating it as much. So the way we're going to get around that is now actually have a lunch, which might seem overwhelming, having a whole palm's worth of protein. So when I talked about having a whole chicken breast at lunch, she was a bit like, that sounds like a lot. And it may well be, especially if you're not consuming it at the moment. So why don't we split that into two? Have the nice foods that you enjoy, so the veggies, the salads with maybe some grains, half a chicken breast, so it doesn't feel overwhelming. Then split that into two. And then when it comes to that 4 o'clock time, what can we do? What are the things that prevent us from eating? Well, actually, at 3:30, if we've got that ability, we go for a half an hour walk. So that stops us from sitting there snacking and having that alcoholic drink that may lead to the snacks. Then we have that portion of food a little bit later, at 3 or 4, and then naturally, she tends to eat dinner at 7:30 with her family. So this now creates a stopgap between that lunch and dinner, where sometimes people are having lunch at say 1 o'clock, they're not eating dinner till 6 o'clock. It's quite a long time to go without food. And especially when we go for snacks, when we're out and about, we tend to go for those easy snacks, bars, crisps, peanuts, whatever it may be that hangs around. This is only hanging around if you purchase it. And I'll say that again. You've got to be strong enough to not purchase those things during the week on your main shop. If you go from main shop Sunday, Monday, whatever, for the whole week, and you're buying the bags of crisps because you know you've got a social event at the weekend, there's a good chance when we become weak, we go for those things. Make it an effort to go out and purchase those things. Make it an effort to go out and get the bag of chocolates or the crisps for your friends or the bottle of wine even. If you've got a storage space with all of these lovely things in your home, then they're easily accessible and they get us when we feel tired, fatigued, we want something to comfort us, and if it's there, we'll go and get it. The reality is now, if you want to go and get it, you've got to get your mask, you've got to go and queue up, you've got to follow a one-way system. There's a lot of things stopping us from going to have that thing that could lead us to there. We talked about having £1,000 to spend, yeah? If I said it was going to cost you £1,000 every time you were to go and have a drink, you'd probably sack it off 5-6 days a night. You may do it once a week, you might do it once every 2 weeks. And the reality is, when we're talking about that in calories, that can easily happen, right? It could be 1,000 calories. Then we spoke about what that costs to try and earn that 1,000 calories. So how long do we have to train, work out to burn off 1,000 calories? Well, you know as well as I know, a hard, tough session, conditioning session, you may push that 250 boundary. That's 4 of those for your £1,000 spending, okay? Now, obviously, you've got other things you do, walking, keeping moving. So that's our next plan. When we have that £1,000 spend, the next morning, we're often likely to want something as a snack anyway, or a little bit of a dirtier breakfast, the fry-up, whatever it may be. So the plan is now, if we have the £1,000 spend, first thing we do is not try and do a horribly hard workout because it's going to feel overwhelming. We're going to red button it. We're going to cancel last minute. It's going to upset me. It's going to upset the coaches. But instead, let's plan a walk, fresh air, clear the head, okay? Get some good water in, do things. Don't try and too many times people go, right, well, I'm going to have a big session, but I'm going to work out next morning to balance that. Probably isn't going to balance it, to be honest. You're not going to work out what you've just burnt off. But you're probably going to feel that overwhelm and not do anything because it's too much. Let's go easy on that. Let's get the hydration back in, get some good nutrient foods in, ready from there. If you are struggling with any form of nutrition and you've been told to go through our 30-day reset thing, but it just doesn't seem to be working, ask us. We're a team that want to help you. We understand. We have worked with hundreds of people with all sorts of different backgrounds with nutrition. We've gone through several different diet types ourselves to trial out how it works for us, how it feels, some of the struggles, and we know many clients have been through different things. We want to be there to help you. You have to ask the question. If you don't ask the question, please don't expect to just pick out an answer from the air, because you're going to look for something on the internet. You're going to see somebody who's selling some crazy supplement, or somebody else who's telling you that you've got a ketogenic, or you have to fast, you have to do all these things. Them things may not work for you. Let's spend half an hour, like I just have, understanding some of your struggles, understanding your regular weeks, your lifestyle. When we do that, we can get a good result, we can work together, and we can check in. We want to help you. Remember, for us, seeing somebody get a result after 5 years, who's been doing really, really well, is an incredible thing. It's a powerful thing, because when you're on a fitness journey, if it's just a 30-day thing, most people can get results in 30 days. It's those people who sustain it long term, or maintain that, or even just if you've lost 8 pounds and you're still 6 pounds down 4 months later, that's an incredible transformation, okay? Remember that. Think about that. concentrate on that. And if you need help at any stage, do never, ever, ever feel too proud to ask, because we all have struggles, okay? We all need help and support, and that is exactly what we're here for. And we want to be the number one place you go to ask any of your questions, fitness related, nutrition related, even mindset stuff. It's what we love doing, we're passionate about it, and we want to be able to help you, okay?